Story time of how I was stabbed in the back of my neck, almost lost my life, could have bled out, and could have been paralyzed. I was like 19 years old, and I was staying in Louisiana with my brother, one of my brother's people, right? And I'm staying out there. It's just me, you know what I'm saying? It's just me out there. I ain't got nobody else out there, just me and my brother people, you know what I'm saying? So besides them, nobody else. So while I'm out there, right, I'm like 19, right? I get a job. I'm working at Wendy's. It's my first job ever in my life. You know what I'm saying? Before that, I'm just doing other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Selling grams and doing all this other stuff to make money, you know, and doing crazy stuff. But I never had a real job. So I'm 19 years old. I ended up getting a job out there. So I was excited, you know what I'm saying? It's my first time having a job. So I'm working at Wendy's, bro. They paying me only like $7.25 an hour, right? And I'm staying in Lake Charles at this time, right? So I'm working at this McDonald's that's right across the street from like McNeese. You know what I'm saying? If you ever been to Lake Charles, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's a Wendy's that's like right across the street from McNeese University. So I'm working at this Wendy's, and they end up firing me, right? So boom, I'm like, man, I gotta get another job, because now I'm like, man, I'm seeing, you know, that money was nothing, you feel me? But I'm working real hours, you feel me? Getting paid $7.25, you know what I'm saying? And getting paid $7.25 an hour, working, or getting paid every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing now, but you know, at that time I was like 19 years old. I'm like, man, all right, you feel me? I'm working, you feel me? But I gotta work a lot of hours, bro, just to see like $600, $700 check. So they end up firing me, right? I say, man, boom. I say, all right, cool. I started applying for other jobs, right? I ended up getting hired at Ross, right? And Ross paying me like $9. So I'm like, oh man, I didn't came up. You feel me? So I'm thinking like, oh man. So while I'm working at Ross, I meet this chick, right? I'm 19 at this time. She like 23. You know what I'm saying? She going on 24. I'm going on 20. You feel me? So I'm working at Ross, so I'm going to work and stuff like that. And me and her end up texting back and forth. So I'm texting her, right? And while I'm texting her, she's like, oh, where you work at and stuff like that. So I told her, I work at Ross. You know what I'm saying? And right off the rip, she was like, oh, that ain't no real job. Like that ain't no real job. I'm like, man, what? So it like caught me off guard. I'm like, man, what? Like I'm trying to work. You feel me? Like I'm 19 years old, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a job. You know what I'm saying? This like my first year ever having a job. You feel me? Like I've been trying to get a job since I was like 15, 16. Nobody would hire me. So now I finally get a job. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? This something, you know, this cool. And first thing she tell me when we talking, like probably like 2-3 days into us talking, she say, oh, that ain't no real job. That ain't no real money. She like, how many hours you be working a day? I told her how many hours I be working. And she like, oh, nah, that ain't no real job. I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, what? So right out the rip, I was like, nah. Like, I was like, you tweaking. Like, I told her, I was like, man, what you mean? Like, there ain't no real job. I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like what you talking about? And so boom, one day I end up having to go back to Houston, right? I ain't had no way. And she volunteered, you know what I'm saying? She was like, oh, I'll come get you. I'm in my mind, I'm like, what? I'm thinking like she lying. Like, you finna drive all the way from Houston to Louisiana to get me and bring me back to Houston? I say, man, what? So boom, she ended up coming to get me from Louisiana, bring me all the way to Houston to do what I had to do in Houston. And boom, brought me all the way back to Louisiana. I say, man, what? Like, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. You feel me? So after that, you know, we end up like texting more and more and more. You feel me? So she came down to Louisiana and she did my hair, you know what I'm saying? She twisted my hair up and stuff. So she ended up leaving, going back to Houston, right? And she ended up, when I was trying to come back to Houston, you feel me? Because I'm ready to leave Louisiana. So, boom, she's like, oh, I'll come get you. So I'm like, man, I'm like, all right, cool, boom. So she come and get me, bring me back to Houston. You know what I'm saying? We chilling a lot, you know, all that. So this where it got messed up at. Type of person I am. I always been the type of person that's like, you know, I'm gonna be real with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing with you. I'm gonna be real with you, right? So me and her hanging out and stuff like that. She was like, I told her, like, you know, she wanted to be in a relationship. I told her, like, I ain't want to be in a relationship. Like, I rock with you, you know what I'm saying? We cool, stuff like that, but I ain't trying to be in a relationship. So she would make it seem like, oh, okay, that's cool, all right, boom. So then later down the line, we started just hanging out a lot more, right? And when I told her, I was like, hey, like basically telling her, like, cause I don't know, something just wasn't right. So I told her, like basically, like, I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying, whatever we doing, like, I don't wanna do it no more, you feel me? And I ain't say that we couldn't be cool no more, but I ain't wanna, you know what I'm saying, cause I ain't wanna mislead nobody, I ain't wanna lead nobody on, or nothing like that. So I told her that, and she was like, man, she threw like a whole fit, you know what I'm saying? But now I know, like, it was like manipulation. Now I know that it was like, you know what I'm saying, all facade, you know what I'm saying? To, like, I don't know how to explain it, bro, but so when I told her that, she made a big deal, started crying and all that, but like, was like, oh no, but I'm pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And this and that. So I'm like, man, what? And me, I grew up without my father, you know what I'm saying? I grew up for a little short period of my life, you know what I'm saying? From like 14 years old to, you know what I'm saying, 18, 19, without my mother, you feel me? So, like, from 14 to 19, I was raising myself. Well, I raised myself from 14 on up, you feel me? Because once I got 19 and I seen my mother again, you feel me? I was, you know, in my eyes, I was already an adult, you feel me? And I was still raising myself from that point. But the only thing I ever wanted, you feel me, was a family, you know what I'm saying, my whole life. I wanted kids of my own, start a family and all this. So she told me, like, oh, I'm pregnant and stuff like that. I'm like, man, what? Like, man, like, you know, I'm excited because I always wanted kids. And I'm excited because I always wanted kids. So I'm like, man, what, for real? She's like, yeah, I'm pregnant and this and that. So I'm like, man, like, I don't know how to wrap my mind around it, you feel me? So the whole topic that we was having, boom, I got off topic, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, about the kid, like, dang, like, I'm finna be a father. So I'm excited, right? So boom, I brushed off my first mind, like, all right, I don't wanna deal with you no more, you feel me, like, in that way. And now I'm getting pulled back in because I'm thinking that she finna have a kid, right? So I'm rocking with her, you know what I'm saying? Time going by. And I'm like, what a kid at, you know what I'm saying? I don't see, you know, stomach, I don't see nothing. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then she ended up telling me, like, later down the line, because I'm not seeing no stomach, I'm not seeing nothing. She ended up telling me down the line, like, oh, I had a miscarriage. So I'm like, oh, man. So I'm hurt about that, because I'm like, man, I thought I was about to have a kid, you feel me? And, you know what I'm saying, I lost, you know what I'm saying, like, the baby ain't make it, you feel me? So I'm like, oh, man, like, you feel me? That's messing my head up, right? So I'm still rocking with her some more, you know what I'm saying? And while I'm rocking with her, because I'm thinking that she really had a miscarriage, you know, and she was really pregnant, but never seen no pregnancy, like going to the doctor to get tests done. They showing ultrasounds. I never seen none of that, bro. But I'm a kid, bro. I'm 19 years old, 20 years old now. And I'm like, all right, you know, miscarriage, all right, cool. So later down the line, we end up leaving Houston, and I went out of town with her and her. I went out of town with her. We drove out there, you know what I'm saying? And we went to her pop's house. He stayed in Oklahoma. And he stayed in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So we go to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I'm staying over there, right? She had a good job in Houston, but at this time we went to Oklahoma. She didn't have a job, right? I'm working 2 jobs. I'm working at UPS and I'm working at Ross, because I worked at Ross, you know, in Louisiana, and I went and I told them, like, hey, I used to work for y'all, and they ran my numbers and stuff like that, and they seen I used to work for them, so they hired me like right on the spot. You feel me? So they basically just transferred me from where I used to work at to the one in Oklahoma. They asked me, oh, what you know how to do? I told them I know how to do this. I was like, oh, boom, we can use you. So they hired me on the spot, right? When they hired me on the spot, I'm working at Ross in the daytime, walking from her pop's place to Ross in the daytime, like 7, 8 in the morning, getting off at like 2, probably 1, 2 in the afternoon, and then I'm working at UPS overnight. You feel me? UPS, they paying every week. Ross, they paying every 2 weeks. So, you know, we trying to figure out what we gonna do, stuff like that. And it got to the point to where I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? The type of person I am when I rock with somebody. I don't want to lead them, you know what I'm saying? Just like, all right, whatever, you know, figure it out for yourself. Like, I be want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, you good. You know what I'm saying? If we go our separate ways, I want to make sure you good before I go my separate way. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, boom. You at your pop's house, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got nobody out here, you feel me? You got your pops, you know what I'm saying? You can figure it out, whatever you gonna do. But I'm like, all right, cool, you know what I'm saying? I got working these 2 jobs. I ain't tripping, you feel me? Whatever you need, you can have that. But it got to a point where I was like, nah, like I'm on something else, you feel me? So I end up telling her, like, I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying? I don't wanna be together, right? And she started acting like real weird. So one day, I'm like, I started like changing everything, you feel me? She knew the password, the code to my phone, all that. So I started changing the code to my phone. I started, you know what I'm saying, doing, like, I started moving different, you feel me? And I told her, like, so one day, I wake up, and she in my phone. I'm like, what you doing? Like, what you on? And I'm asking her, like, how you get the code to my phone? You feel me? And I'm talking about she doing weird stuff, like, she calling like my card, stuff like that, doing weird stuff, like calling my card and stuff like that. Like, man, y'all don't understand, bro. Like, figuring out what my PIN is and figuring out what my code is to my phone, acting real weird. And I'm like, man, like, what you doing? So I'm telling her, like, you tripping, bro. Like, so now I'm like, all right, you acting crazy now. Now you on some, you know what I'm saying, some other stuff. So I say, nah, I got to get away from you. So I told her, like, nah, bro, I'm finna get ready to, you know, like a week or 2, I'm finna, you know, work a couple jobs, get a couple checks, you feel me? Like, if you need something, you know, I got you, you good. But if you need something, I got you, you good. But nah, I'm finna go, you feel me? And like a couple days after that, I'm waking up, right? I'm getting ready for work, right? So we at her pop's house, and I had my stuff like in this closet. Like, right when you open the front door, it's like a closet that's right there, and I got all my stuff in there. So I'm going to this closet. She in the kitchen, right? I don't know if she was cooking or what she was doing, but she in the kitchen. And I'm in the living room, I'm on the couch, and I'm like, man, I gotta get up and get ready for work. So I get up, and I go to this closet, you know what I'm saying, that's right by the front door. And I go to the closet, I'm getting my stuff, you know what I'm saying, I'm in the closet, getting my stuff, and I'm about to put on like a shirt or something. And while I'm in the closet, she come up behind me, you know what I'm saying, and stab me in the back of the neck with a knife, right? So when the knife hit the back of my neck, I feel it, but I'm like what? You feel me? So I turn around and I look, and she's standing there with the knife in her hand. And when I turn around and look at her, and I'm looking like, dang, like, you just stabbed me, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you really just stabbed me? I end up, like, you know, I'm in shock, but I'm not froze, you feel me? Like, I'm not froze. So she looking like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Boom, she finna try to stab me again. So she go raise the knife up to try to stab me again. I grab the knife with my hand, right? And it end up, I grabbed the knife with my hand and grabbed it like this. And you know, on the part, you know, where the knife at, you know, it'll scrape all that up, you know, because you know the side of the knife got those little things, like it'll cut you up. You try to touch it and somebody slide, it's gonna cut your whole hand up. So she had the knife like this and she went to try to stab me again. I grabbed it with my hand like this and I pulled it out of her hand, you know, cutting all my hand up. I'm like, I ain't tripping. You feel me? I pulled it out of her hand, right? And after I pulled the knife out of her hand, she opened the door, the front door, took off running out the front door. And I'm bleeding out, bro. You feel me? I had a shirt on, bro. It's like a sky blue shirt. You feel me? It had cut off sleeves. And I got stabbed in the back, right? The whole back of my shirt, like the whole back of my shirt drenched blood. Like the whole shirt, blood. From the back, from the top, all the way to the bottom. And it got to the point to where the front of the shirt started to be drenched in blood. Like, only this part of the shirt was not drenched in blood. Everything else from here down and the whole back from the top to the bottom was blood. Blood, like the whole thing drenched in blood. Story time of how I was stabbed in the back of my neck. Almost lost my life. Could have bled out and could have been paralyzed. She opened the door, the front door, took off running out the front door. And I'm bleeding out, bro. You feel me? I had a shirt on, bro. It's like a sky blue shirt. You feel me? It had cut off sleeves. And I got stabbed in the back, right? The whole back of my shirt, like the whole back of my shirt drenched blood. Like the whole shirt, blood. From the back, from the top, all the way to the bottom. And it got to the point to where the front of the shirt started to be drenched in blood. Like, only this part of the shirt was not drenched in blood. Everything else from here down and the whole back from the top to the bottom was blood. Blood, like the whole thing drenched in blood. So I'm like, man, like, you feel me? But I got my adrenaline, bro, and I'm like, dang, she just stabbed me. She just ran up out of here. So I got the knife in my hand, bro. I don't know why I still had the knife in my hand, but at this time I wasn't the person that I am now, so I could have flashed out, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't flash out. But she run out of the apartment. I'm running behind her. And I'm like, hey, I ain't say nothing, but I'm like, it get to the point where I'm not even running no more, bro. I'm just walking, right? And she running and she screaming like, oh, he trying to do this to me. He trying to do this to me. So we get to the point where people in the apartment's like, oh, no, he tripping. Like, they think I'm trying to harm her. But in fact, like, I'm bleeding. You feel me? Like, and it was a man that was standing outside and a lady, and they was like, no, like, he not trying to do nothing to her. Like, he's bleeding. Like, she stabbed him. And I'm like, dang, like, at least somebody have some sense. You feel me? Because I'm bleeding out, bro. Like the whole back of my shirt and all that is bloody, right? So the thing that's on my mind, I'm like, bro, I'm in Oklahoma. I'm not from here. You know what I'm saying? I'm in her pop's house. So let me would have bled out, or let me would have, when she stabbed me the first time, me not would have grabbed that knife and she stabbed me over and over and over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? And unalived me or something like that. Like, they would have covered it up. Said it was self-defense and this and that, or, you know, they would have covered it up and they would have got away with it. You feel me? But nah, when she left, when I grabbed that knife, she took out running. I went outside behind her, and it got to the point to where she trying to run to the front office, telling them that I'm trying to harm her and all this stuff, like making a big old scene. And I'm like, bro, you just stabbed me. You feel me? So we get to the point, I'm like, all right, man, whatever. So I'm walking the other way, and as I'm walking the other way, I ain't call the cops or nobody, you feel me? As I'm walking the other way, I end up like getting real lightheaded, you feel me? Because I'm losing a lot of blood, bro. Like, I'm losing a lot of blood. I end up getting real lightheaded. And as I'm getting lightheaded, I just noticed, like, I was getting real weak. And I dropped. While I was walking, I ended up dropping, like, to the ground, you feel me? And, like, I just laid down. Cause like I couldn't go no more, you feel me? So I just laid down. And when I laid down, I ended up dropping the knife like in the grass. Right when I ended up dropping down, I don't know how long I was on the ground, but like the paramedics pull up, bro, and they walking up on me. And they end up getting me up off the ground. I don't know how they got me up off the ground, but they end up getting me up off the ground, and they put me in the back of the paramedics, what's the name? And I guess they had the sirens or what on, and they took me to the hospital. So I'm in and out I'm in and out of consciousness, you feel me? Like, I know I'm there, but it's like I'm in and out, you feel me? It's like I'm going out, but I before I go all the way out, like I come back, you feel me? And when I'm in the back of the paramedics, like my chest started to like tighten up, you feel me? And I was going in, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if it's called not hyperventilation or not a panic attack, but I don't know what it's called when your chest started to like cave in, it started to tighten up, you know what I'm saying? Cardiac arrest. I started to go into cardiac arrest, bro. And they was telling me like, you gotta calm, you gotta slow your breathing down, you gotta like do something. And I'm just in my mind, and I'm looking, bro, and I'm like, man, like, cause when you in the back of that paramedic truck, you feel me? You see it on movies and stuff like that, but when you in the back of there and you bleeding out, and you know what I'm saying, and your chest getting tight, like, it feel like, man, it's it, you know? So I'm in the back of the paramedic truck, and they telling me like, you gotta slow your breathing down, you gotta calm down, like you gotta, you know, I'm telling them like, hey, my chest getting tight, like, you know what I'm saying? They telling me like, you gonna go into cardiac arrest if you don't slow your breathing down. So I'm trying to, you know, like, be calm, you feel me? I'm not in no panic, you feel me, to where I'm screaming, I'm not saying nothing. Like, I'm laying on this bed, I'm not saying nothing, bro, but they telling me like, you gotta slow your breathing down, you gotta, you know, and I'm not knowing what they mean, because I'm feeling like I'm not doing nothing, you feel me? So they end up putting the IV in my arm and stuff like that, and they end up getting me to the hospital, right? I guess my breathing ended up getting under control because my chest, like, it untightened, and it started, you know, to where I could actually breathe again. You feel me? And they end up getting me to the hospital, right? I get to the hospital, and they tell me that the wound, like the stab wound, they doctored on it, you know, they cleaned it out, all of that, and they was letting me know, like, if it would have been an inch to the left or an inch to the right, that I could have been, like, paralyzed, you feel me? If it hit me in that spot and went deep enough, I could have been paralyzed. There was a chance I could have been paralyzed. But they was like, it didn't hit nowhere serious, you know. It basically was just me bleeding out. That was the bad part. You feel me? Because it barely missed my spine. So that was God. You know, and every time I be thinking about that, I'm like, man, look at God. Because what are the odds that just barely an inch, like not even really an inch, like barely, bro, missed my spine. Like, it could have hit my spine, but it didn't. It just missed it. So I'm like, man, like God is good. So they told me that. I'm like, man, I'm just thinking like, man, I could have been paralyzed. Like, that's wild. So I'm like, all right. So they fixing me up and stuff like that. The shirt that I had on, they ended up tearing that shirt off for me. And they was like, well, this shirt is done. Like, it was completely covered in blood. Like, to where if I would have went like this, like, blood would have came out of that shirt. Like, when you put a shirt in the pool or some water and you take it out and it be heavy, like, that's how that shirt was, bro. I lost so much blood, bro, to where they was like, man, we gonna throw this shirt away. Like, this shirt is done. And I'm just like, man, like, and I can't get my mind off of, like, bro, she really stabbed me. Like, she really stabbed me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody can be right there close to you, you feel me? You would never think that they'll do something like that. You feel me? But the whole time, they'll do something like that. You feel me? And she ended up stabbing me, right? So I'm in the hospital. They bring the police by, all that. They like, oh, do you want to press charges? Do you want to do that? I say, nah, I don't want to press charges, bro. You feel me? I'm just like, I ain't even tripping, you feel me? I'm just trying to get back to Houston, bro. I'm trying to get from away from there and get back to Houston. And she ended up calling me, telling me, oh, I come pick you up from the hospital and stuff like that. And I'm in my mind like, yeah, come pick me up. And at this time, I'm tripping, bro. I'm like, you try to stab me, like, you try to take me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm really tripping in my mind, in my head, you know? But I'm like, yeah, come pick me up. It's good. And she ended up coming to pick me up, right? And I go back to her pop's house. And I'm on some stuff like, mind you, she ain't do no jail time. No charges was pressed against her. No, like, she ain't have to go to court. None of that. You feel me? I told him, like, nah, I don't want to press charges. None of that. I'm telling him, like, man, I don't even know. I don't know what happened. Nothing. So she never had to do nothing for that. You feel me? Like, but she tried to take my life, and I still ain't ruined hers. You feel me? So she ended up coming pick me up. We went back to her pop's house. I'm like, man, I gotta get all my stuff and stuff like that. And while we was up in there, I don't know what happened, but we ended up getting into like an altercation, bro. And I'm on some stuff like, nah, like you didn't stab me once before, so I don't trust you. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up doing something, and I end up like, I ain't gonna say I put my hands on her, but I end up like, I wanted to do her bad. I ain't gonna lie to you, you know. But I end up like, when she was doing all that she was doing, I ended up like pinning her on the ground, and like I was mad, so I'm like yelling, but I ain't like beat on her or nothing like that. I just had her on the ground. I was telling her like, and she knew I wasn't playing because I never did nothing like that to her. And after that, I'm like, bro, I need to leave, bro. I end up doing something to you, you know. So I end up getting all my stuff, bro, and I end up leaving. I end up walking down this sidewalk. I don't even know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? We in Oklahoma. I'm not from there. So I end up getting all my stuff, walking out of this place, and I'm walking down the street, and I end up running across this man, right? And I run across this man, and him and his family, they had this van, and they was like, hey, you good? You know, everybody else riding by me. And it was a Caucasian man, and him and his family, they see me, and they offer me a ride, like, hey, where you need to go, you know? And I was like, man, I'm just trying to get to a shelter or somewhere until I can get a bus ticket so I can leave and get back to Houston. And they was like, all right, cool. So they gonna take me to this shelter, right? And I get to the shelter, and the shelter was like, oh, because I had a couple bags, you know what I'm saying? And I had my clothes and stuff. They was like, oh, nah, if you coming in here, you can only have one bag. Everything else, you gonna have to leave it, or you gonna have to throw it away. I'm like, one bag? Like, this is all the stuff I got left to my name. Like, I'm like, nah. So I say, man, he was like, you know what? I'll just take you by my house. You can use the phone and stuff like that and figure out what you're gonna do. And I was telling him, like, I gotta go to work and stuff like that too. So, man, they ended up dropping me off to work, picking me back up. Ain't want no gas money, nothing like that. It was a man, he had a wife, and they had like 3 or 4 kids, you feel me? And I'm in at their apartment, and they cooking, the kids playing, you feel me? And they was just real nice, real genuine, you feel me? That's God. Like, God be looking out for us, no matter where we at, no matter where we go in the world. God is gonna send angels. God is gonna send, you know, other believers, other, you know, his children to help out us when we are in need, when we are in trouble, when we are, you know, in a bad way. And he drove me to work. He came back, picked me up, you know. At first I'm like, man, what? Like, I ain't feel comfortable. But then it's like my guard started letting down. I'm like, man, they actually genuine people. Like, it's nobody but God. You feel me? Like, and it seemed like, I don't know if any of y'all don't know the other story that I told, but it was a man that I had met, and it seemed like him, but just in another body, bro. He used to sit on the floor. He had furniture, but he used to sit on the floor, crisscross applesauce. And this man used to sit the same way on the floor, crisscross applesauce, playing with his kids. And I'm like, man, what? And he used to sit with his back the same way, almost like it's wings under his skin, bro. And I'm like, all right, cool. I ended up getting in contact with some of my family. My stepdad ended up, you know, getting in contact with one of my sisters or something like that. They ended up going half on the ticket. They ended up paying for my ticket. I had to go up to the bus station, end up getting the ticket. The dude, the man, he ended up picking me up from work. Took me like 2-3 days, took me back and forth to work. I'm staying over there. Boom. I ended up being able to get the ticket. I go to the bus station, to the Greyhound, to leave. And this man gave me his number and stuff like that. And I left. It took me like a day and a half, 2 days to make it back. You feel me? For like a month or 2 months, even after the fact, when I got stabbed, my wound used to still bleed like ever so often it'll start bleeding. And then when it healed up to where it wasn't an open wound no more, it used to feel like it was bleeding on the inside. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was for a minute, for a while. And it used to, I don't know if it did nerve damage or what it did, but something just wasn't right with like this area and some of the other parts of my body just off of getting stabbed where I got stabbed at. And I ended up making it back. Boom, when I make it back to Houston, she texted me again, like she wrote me on Twitter and was like, sorry, I'm sorry about what happened. She say that I don't know why, what she said, I can't remember specifically, but she said that she was gonna take my life and then take her own life. On some stuff like, if I can't have you, nobody else can. If you're not gonna be with me, you're not gonna be with nobody. And I'm in my mind like, what? And she started telling me like, oh man, hey, remember how she got me the first time? Like at that time I was only like 19, 20. And I told her I didn't want to mess with her. And she said, oh, I'm pregnant, you know? And I told y'all, like, I want a family, you feel me? So I'm like, oh, man, you feel me? All that went out of my mind. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Cool. So she ended up telling me, I'm pregnant after she stabbed me. And I left, went back to Houston. I'm pregnant. Like, you're not going to be there for your child. You just going to leave your child. I say, man, I say, if you is pregnant, I'm going to take care of my child. You know what I'm saying? But I say, nah, I don't want nothing to do with you. You feel me? Like, nah, like, you got me like that the last time. Like, you ain't gonna get me like that this time. And she's like, but I'm pregnant and stuff like this. Like, you gonna just leave me? Like I need you right now. I'm like, nah, bro. Nah. So after I wasn't falling for that, she started, you know, DM me, talking crazy and stuff like that. Try to get her sister to DM me, you know, to tell you like, oh man, you tripping. Like, you need to take care of your child, your responsibility. And in all reality, I still don't believe that she was pregnant, bro. But, hey, that's story time about how I was stabbed, you know, and almost lost my life, almost bled out, and was almost paralyzed. And I'm going to show y'all the wound before I end the video.